Hi, a very warm welcome on lesson 3 of full stack web development course. In the previous sessions, we have accomplished the following objectives. We have already covered software development lifecycle. We understood how we can take software requirement specification from the client, how we can quickly convert those requirements into a document of software requirement specification using Handsoft. Followed by we covered the websites from where we can get design motivation for the project. There are websites like uplabs.com, dribble.com, from where we can get design motivation so that we can create products which are most likely to be used by the customers and they should be able to like it. Similarly, we have started working on a project which is known as an appointment page for a doctor's application. And we will be building a similar web page like this. So we have started building a website where we are going to create an appointment page. And within that appointment page, we have created multiple sections in the previous class. So this is something which we will be coding. So the first part is we have started designing the prototypes. Once the prototypes are done in Adobe XD and we are ready with all the components like images, color schemes, buttons, their shapes, their size, then we will get started into creating the front end using HTML and CSS, followed by connecting the backend APIs, connecting with the database, and then testing the application and deploying it on AWS so as to successfully run it. So continuing, so in the last session, we started working on designing prototypes for full stack website development using Adobe XD. And in today's session, we'll continue the same. So I have started Adobe XD. The project which we started was a full stack developer for CloudWorks. This is what we have started building. And here, if you can see that we started building the wireframe for the controls. So what we did within the layers, if I quickly get to the index page layer, we created the following things. We created a menu section, we created a banner section, we created a service section, we created a description section, followed by we got a logo section, and we got the menu filter section. So logo section, I would like to keep again in the menu section itself. Let me just open it. Okay, yeah. So I'll keep the menu section and the logo section and the menu button section into one group. Okay, so I'm going to group it and I'm going to call it as my navigation bar. You can call it as nav bar. Okay, this becomes our navigation bar. And now within this navigation bar, we'll have the three components: the overall menu section background, okay, followed by the logo section and the menu button section. So we are going to use our, we are going to use our own name for the application. We can use our own logo. Accordingly, we can design the menu sections and everything. Now, so we are working on index page, and what we have recently done, we have combined menu section, logo section, and menu button section into one group. And we have named the group as navigation bar because the top component is always known as a navigation bar. Okay. So once we're done with creating the navigation bar, we also have a few sections like the description section, the service section, the banner section, which we are going to create and we're going to use accordingly. Okay. Now, so how to get it going? So let's have a quick look. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to add up a few section within my banner section also. Okay. So I'm going to divide my banner section into two parts. In the first part, let's say I'm going to take the form where I'm going to create the form. Okay. So we can consider This is going to be the form area. I would like to remove the fill. Okay. Followed by, I would like to have, let's say I'm going to rename it to form area, because this is going to be our appointment form area where we are going to create the form. Similarly, I'm going to have another section, and let's say this section is going to be the image section. Okay. So I'm going to adjust it accordingly, and this becomes my image section, or I can call it as image area. And now I'm going to group the form area, image area, and the banner section into one group. Okay. And actually, I'm going to name this one as banner section. And within the group, I'm going to call it as banner section background. Okay. So now what you can see, this is the banner section. Within banner section, we have got an image area, we have got a form area, and we have got the banner section background. So what I'll do, I'll quickly select the image area and I'm going to uncheck the fill, because I want to keep a proper image as per my requirement here on this section. Followed by, what next we'll have a few components here, which you can see here, which is the third section. Okay. And then we're going to have a fourth section again, where again on the fourth section, I'm going to have, let's say this is going to be my image area in the fourth section. Let me just quickly adjust it accordingly. Okay. So this becomes my image area for section 4. Okay. This I'm going to keep outside the banner section. Okay. Because this is going to be the part of my fourth section. So I'm going to change it as image area again. Okay. And post the image area, the next section which I'm going to create is going to be the text content area. Okay, you have to be very precise with creating these boxes, because otherwise you are not going to get the appropriate look of your application. Okay. The second area is going to be the text area, or let's say description area. Okay. And now I'm going to group it again. So I have a description area, and I have got the third area is my description section. Okay. So I'm going to group all of these three together, and I'm going to name it as description section now. Description section. Okay. And within this description section, I'm going to change the earlier part to description section background. So why do we keep the spaces for the background? Because you never know whenever when you need to change the background of a section. Okay. So that's why it's always a good idea to keep the content and things accordingly. Okay. So we got the wireframe now. Okay. So what am I going to do? I've selected the image, and now I'm going to take this image out of my segment, and I will start building the application now. So now, as you can see, we have got a proper section. Now, first we'll get started with, we'll get to the pasteboard, we'll get to the index page. Now, within this index page, what do we need to do? First, I'm going to select the index page, and I want to keep a background. Okay. We can say the background is going to be a rounded blue we want to keep. So I'm going to select the fill from the right hand side. From the fill section, I'm going to select the fill, and I'm going to take this color, the blue color for the section. Okay. Now this blue color, you can see it has a combination of white as well within the sections. So what we can do, we can fill it with the rounded or radial gradient. Okay. With the radial gradient, what do we need to do? We need to choose the appropriate color. Okay. At the center section, which color would you want? So I would be needing white color, let's say at the center. And on the sides, what I would be needing, in fact, I'll change this color to blue. Okay. And this blue is going to be this one. Okay. Can you see that? So
Yes,
there are
sir.
some sections in the radial gradient. Okay. So we got a color somewhat like this. Now, when it comes to intensity of the color, so you can select the white section. You can select the white section, and how much would you want to make it white or transparent, you can do accordingly. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
As well as we can increase the area of the gradient also, so that we're going to get some more relevant things. Okay. So now you can see that we have got something very similar where we have the blue section. Okay. And what we can also do is we can lighten up the blue section more. Okay. So what we can do is, in case if I go to the fill here, if I have a blue color selected over here, what I can do is I can make it a little more light. Okay. So when you make it a little more light, so you can get a color respectively of your choice. Okay. Is that clear? So that's how we got the color. Now what next we are going to do? So we'll get started with filling the logo now. So in the logo, you can use a logo of your own choice. Okay. Let's say I'm going to get started with a text section. Okay. And I'm going to put a content here. This content is going to be my text section. And let's say I'm going to, let's say you can use any standard font. And as I have already told you, in case if you want to identify the font type, there's a website known as What the Font, okay, with which you can quickly identify the font used in that application or in the design. So how you can do that? So in case if you want to keep it exactly same, you can get to this website, What the Font. Okay, I'll open it in a moment. Let's quickly go to google.com and I'll open that from Google itself. I don't know, it's running a little slow, the website, or there might be issue with my network connection also. Anyways, so for the time being, what I'll do, I'll use a standard font, but there's a website known as What the Font, with which you can actually check. Now, so we have started writing within the index page. Now I'm going to write the text. Okay. So let's create a text. I'm going to change the text to, let's say, health app. Okay. I'm going to call this as health app. I'm going to increase the size a bit. So let's say I'm going to use Roboto for my designs. I'm going to call it as bold. Okay. Size, we can keep it to, let's say, 50 in order to increase the size. Okay. You can match up accordingly. I can also call it as health app, somewhat like this. And I'm going to adjust it. Okay. So I will be able to adjust it accordingly when I'm going to set it up in the proper area. So I'm going to bring the text and I'm going to name it as logo. Logo text. So I'm going to drag this logo text in the navigation bar and I want to actually put it into the logo section. So I want to group both of these, the logo section and the logo text. I'm going to group it. Okay. And I'm going to rename it to logo section. Okay. And within this logo section now, this becomes the logo section background. In future, in case if you want to change the look. Okay. Now this is my text content. We're going to make a fill. Okay. So since we are currently using the design standard from this, so I'm going to use a relevant color for the text content. And here now you can see it becomes the health app. Okay. Now, what else? What else we are going to do apart from this health app? Now I want to remove this section, the borders of my navigation logo section. I want to remove the borders so that my application looks good. Okay, I've removed the borders. Now what next we're going to do? We have the next section, and this section is within the navigation bar. We have the menu buttons section. Now within this menu button section, we're going to create a few more numbers, a few more navigation menu items, which are home, about, article, and services. Okay, so what we'll do, let us just make home, about, article, and services. So I'm going to select it. Let's say I'm going to write the content here. I'm going to call it as home. Okay, we'll change the color and the font type accordingly as per our choice. Okay, so I'm going to keep it somewhere here at the center. Along with this, I'm going to group it first. Okay, so let's say I'm going to call it as home button, and I'm going to keep the menu buttons section and the home button into a common group. Now this becomes a group, and I'm going to rename this to menu button section. And within this menu button section, now I have this menu button section background. Okay, and within this I have got a home button. Now one of the best benefits with the group is you can actually rearrange the item with respect to that section itself. Okay, so that you will be able to adjust the content appropriately within the section in which you want it to be placed. Okay, so as to align them properly. So now I'm going to use it the regular, okay, in the Roboto font. So let's say I'm going to call it as home. This becomes my first component. I can keep it blue color, I can keep it black color as per my choice. Okay, so currently what I want is, let's say we'll make it black. Okay, we'll use it black. So this is the black color which we are using here on the website. Let's call it as home. Other than home, now I'm going to create a few more. The second section is going to be, let's say, 70 pixels apart. Okay, it will be 70 pixels away, and I'm going to call it as about. Post about, again you're going to keep it 70, and we can change it to articles. Okay, and then we can copy one more, and we can call it as services. Okay, so that's how you got your top section built. Now what am I going to do? We are in the navigation bar. It says 4 buttons, so I'm going to change the name to service button, services button. The next one is articles button, article button. Then I have the about button, and finally the home button. And you have a complete menu section, and I want to remove the borders now. Okay, so now you can see you've got the top page created in such a way. And sorry, we have one more, which is the get started section. Okay, so let us make a get started section also. So what I'll do, I'll just remove the articles because I don't have any content, specific content for articles. So I'm going to remove that. And instead of article, what am I going to do? I'm going to increase the size of this, let's say, my menu button section up to the end. Sorry, I would just want the menu section controls to be extended up to the end here. And I want to add one more button, which is the get started button. Okay, so how am I going to make the get started button? I'm going to take a rectangle. I'm going to make a control here. Okay, I'll adjust it accordingly. So let us just fill it with the blue color. I'm going to select this. I'm going to fill it with the blue color. I'm going to remove the borders and I want to set the edges to, let's say, 20 so that it becomes rounded. Okay. I think the current edges are 10. It's not that curved. You can see that it is slightly curved from the ends. So this is just 10 rounded pixels. Okay. So we have made this rounded also. Now, so now what we can see, we have got the home, about, and the services section made. And I'm going to bring this content. So this is going to be my get started background. Okay. And I'll keep it within my menu section part, under the menu button section. So because it will help me adjust according to the other contents available in this section. So we have a get started section made. Now what else I want? I want to write a text on it. So I'm going to change it to, let's say, get started. And I'm going to keep the size to, let's say, 40 so that it stays within it. I'm going to keep it bold and I want to change the color to white. Okay, I'll change the color to white so that it's visible. Now, so what next I'm going to do? I'm going to put it, I'm going to group both of this, the get started button background and the get started text. I'm going to group it and I'm going to rename the group to get started button, get started button. And within this get started button, we have the label for get started. I'll call it as LBL get started. And second will be the get started background. And I'm going to adjust it within this section now so that it looks at the center. Okay, got it? Now what we can do one more thing. We can quickly adjust all the 4 components. The first one, the second one, the home button, and the get started button. We can keep all of these and then we can arrange them appropriately. So if you want to keep all of them aligned, so we can keep it aligned. Okay, this is the proper alignment part, followed by, in case if you want to have equivalent spaces between them. Okay, so you can keep the spaces part also. So this will automatically adjust all your components at a common space, auto adjustable space. Okay, this option. This will arrange all your horizontal components. It will distribute horizontally with the equal spacing between them. Is that clear? So this is very important when you will be adjusting the content. Okay. One more thing we can do, we can quickly select this section now. Within the navigation bar section, we have a menu section. Okay. So we can also either, I think it's fine because already from the halves, on the left half section, we have our health app. On the right half section, we have our home, about, services, and everything. So is that clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Now what next we have? We'll get into the second section. So we are done with the first section. I'm going to select this part. I'm going to remove the borders. We don't want the borders. Okay. Now coming to the second section. This section is the banner section. On this banner section, again, we have an image area, we have a form area. So I'll get into the form area first. Okay. Now within this form area, what I'll do, I'm going to make the text content and I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to create something like find and search your suitable doctors. Okay, something like this we're going to make. Now, since it's multicolor, we are going to keep this to black. Okay, you can quickly select the appropriate color as per your choice. And we can increase the size of the text content to, let's say, 80 so that it takes a little more space. Okay. So I'm going to keep it appropriately at a specific layer. Find and so this is now at the center. Find and search your suitable doctor, and accordingly I'll have the form below it. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, so I'm going to change this to label, or we call it as LBL banner description. Okay, so under the banner section, I have got LBL banner description, and I want to keep it into the form area. So I want to group it. Okay, so I'm going to call this as form section, form area section. So you can see that grouping the components is very, very important, because accordingly we will be able to make the division tags, okay, when it comes to designing the front end. So that is very important, because you group them together nicely, then it will be very, very easy for you to quickly create the components with respect to your standard design requirements. Okay. Now coming to the next point. So we got the form area. Within that form area, we have got the label description. I'm going to rename it to form area background. Okay. Now within this, I'm going to create some specific forms also. So there are two things. One is find your doctor in the area along with the button control. And then it has join us and take care of yourself and your family with health services that will make you feel confident and safe in your daily life. So this is what is the text description content which we want to make here. So I'll just write a small line here. This line is going to be, let's say, 40 pixels. Okay. And this says, join us and take care of yourself. Let's just make it, join us and take care. We are going to make the size to, let's say, half the size, 40. We'll change the color to, let's say, gray. Okay, we can keep it a little light as per our choice. So, and we can keep it a little more smaller so as to have more space, or let's say 35 would do. We'll keep the size as 35. So now it says we have to write the statement, join us and take care of yourself, of your family, of yourself and your family with health services that will make you feel confident and safe in your daily life. So this is going to be a specific 2-line statement. I'm going to reduce the size a little more. Let's say I'll keep it 30. So 30 is also seems a little big. As of now, we'll try to keep it 20. 20, I think, is not visible properly. Then again, it's going to be of no use to keep these statements. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll keep it the health that will make you feel more confident, something like this. Okay. And we can keep the content arranged in such a way that it falls within the above find and search your suitable doctors part. Okay. Now, so now you can see we get a page somewhat like this. Okay. And I'm going to arrange it accordingly. So we can arrange it, let's say 20 pixel from the top. And I'm going to change this form area section to LBL description. Okay. So we got LBL banner description. We can call it as LBL banner title, in fact, banner title. And this becomes the LBL banner description. LBL banner description. Okay. So can you see that we got this stuff?
Yes.
Just below this, I'm
Yes,
going
sir.
to make a new area, which is going to be a white area where we are going to have our form. So I don't want borders here. I would like this to be 10 rounded. Okay. Then within this, I want a few more things. Let me just quickly select it, what that content is. This is going to be the form background. Now within this form background, we are going to have two elements. One is find your doctor, and second is the location, and third is a button. Three rounded shapes we would be needing. So one would be, let's say, the type of service which a user would be needing, followed by, okay, what I'll do is I'll just change the rounded value to 10, change it to 10, remove the fill, change the color area to, what I'll do is I'll just quickly select the color area. This is going to be that grayish area, okay, with rounds. So now you can see that we've got the first area. Accordingly, what we can do is we can have another area, sorry, Control Z. Control Z. I have this rectangle area. I'm going to call it as input 1 BG, input 1 BG. Okay. There will be two inputs. So this is going to be the second input, which will keep, let's say, 20 pixel. Okay. This is going to be input 2 background. And third, there's going to be another content, but this is going to be the button, the search button. Okay. I believe you are able to see what are we trying to build,
Yes, sir.
right? This is going to be the search button area. Okay. So for now, what we have got, let us just arrange all the three. First, we'll put all these three into one group. Okay. The form background and this, all these are going to be in one group. So I'm going to call this group as form. This is going to be a form. And within this form, we have input 1, input 2. I'm going to call it as button, BTN1, button 1 background. Okay. And since this is going to be a search kind of thing, so what do we need is we need a few icons. So to get the icons, we can quickly go to Android material icons. Okay. I'll go to google.com. I think there is some issue with my Google. I'll just open Chrome and I'll just try to open in that. Okay, go to google.com and we have to open material icons. It's not opening here. There are certain material icons, in fact, which we do need to use. So down here, what you can do is you can search for material icons. So fonts.google.com icons. You can quickly get the icons from here. So these icons will be very helpful in arranging it. So what icon I want a search icon. So I've got a search icon here. So I'll be using the search icon and I want that in white color. So I've converted into white. You can quickly change the size accordingly with what size icon do you need. So I will be needing a 24 dp icon and I'm going to download the PNG file for it. Okay. So once I get the PNG file, I'm going to extract it, the white 24 dp 2x. I'll copy this, copy the image, and I'm going to paste the image here. Okay, I've got the image pasted over here and I'll keep it here in the search. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So this is the search image. I'm going to group it together and I'm going to call it as search button. Search button. So we've got a search button. Within that search button, we have got a search image and I'm going to adjust it accordingly at the center of the control. Okay, what next I want? So I want the search button, input background 2, input BG, all of these three to be arranged appropriately within the section. Okay, so I've arranged it within the section and I'm going to keep it at the center also. So this is the center, 23, 23 from up and bottom and 34, 34 from the side. So now it is appropriately at a specific space. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now within this, what we want find your doctor message and we go on the location message. Okay, the area, the location, we're going to create it accordingly. So let's get here. So this is going to be my input 1 background. And within this, I want some text. So I'm going to define something like this. Find your doctor. Okay. So I'm going to use find your doctor and I'm going to adjust it because I want this. Let's say LBL input. And I want this LBL input background and LBL input as one group, and I'm going to call it as input find doctor. Okay, and within this input find doctor, I'm going to adjust it now to the center space, 47, 47 from both ends, or else what we can do is we can keep it left aligned also. Okay, so it totally depends on your choice. How would you want it to be arranged? Because as soon as the user will click on it, he's going to type under this box. Okay, so we can keep it, let's say, left aligned also. Won't be an issue. We can keep it from the 10 pixel right from the left. Okay, find your doctor. Along with that, in the next section, input B, what we'll do, we'll type something, search select area. Let's say we'll call it a select area. Okay, and this select area is going to be, let's say, LBL select area, and I want it to be in group with input background 2. So we are going to group it and we are going to rename the group to select area. Okay, this is going to be the select area. Within that select area, I'm going to adjust the label now properly with, again, 10, let's say 10 from the left. So we can find the doctor, we can select the area, or in case if you want it a little more decent, you can keep it, let's say 15 from the left. Okay, so I'll keep it 15 from the left. So we got find your doctor, we got the select area, and we got the search button. So that's how we got our left-hand section created for this website. Can you see that? Does it look good to you?
Yes, sir.
Now what we have is, once we got this area created, we got banner section, we got a form area section. And within this form area section, now I'm going to remove the borders. Okay. Is that clear? So I've got this section created. What else I can do? If I want my form area section. Now within that form area section, we have image area, then we have a banner section. So this form area section, I have a form. Okay, banner composition, form area background. So I'll remove the form area background. I'll select the banner title. I'll select the banner selection. I'll select the form. And now I can adjust all of these at the center of the group. Okay, so that it looks a little more decent. So now it is at the center. Okay, so as soon as the website opens up, we are going to get it arranged in this way. Okay, can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Now on the right hand side, we are going to keep an image. Okay. On the right hand side, what do you need is we do need an image. So let us complete that part also. We'll quickly put up an image on the right hand side section. Now how we are going to use it. So let's say we can quickly take a doctor's illustration. Let's say doctor's illustration. So here in the doctor's illustration, we can quickly take a sample as per our choice. So let's say this looks good to me. There are various images as per your theme. You can select accordingly. You can change the colors. You can do all that stuff. Okay. Now, so let's say I'll use this one. If it does not have a art. Yeah. So that's a vector image. I'm going to save and download this image. Save image to downloads. Okay. I've got that image downloaded. Okay. Now, once your image has been downloaded, what next we're going to have? I'll quickly right click and save image to downloads. I think due to network, it is taking a little while to download, So what I'll do is I'll copy the image and I'll try to paste it directly here in the section. So under the banner section, under the form area section, under the form, what do we have is, this is our image area. Okay. So I'm going to paste an image over here. This is going to be my banner image. Let's call it as banner image. Okay. So I'm going to keep the banner image somewhere here. I'm going to adjust it accordingly. I'll increase the size, but first I want to keep it in a group with image area. Okay. So I have got my image area. I've got my banner image. I'm going to group both of them together. And this becomes our banner image. Within this banner image, we have the image area, which I'm going to keep it at the bottom, followed by we have the banner image. Okay. And what I'll do, I'll select the options, shift options, and I'm going to increase the size in such a way that it increases from all the corners accordingly. Okay. So now we got this done. So as per your choice, you can select, your banner image depending on your choice. Then I have removed the background for the banner section, followed by form area section. I've already removed it. For the banner image also, I'm going to remove. I don't have the borders. So now you can see that the first section of our website looks like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does it look good to you?
Yes,
we can
sir.
also,
Exactly.
we can also adjust it a little more accordingly, as in so as to match up the left hand side area, the text area. You can also increase the size a little more in case if you want, so as to match the length. Okay. Now, so something like this, we have got the first section done. Does it look good to you?
Yes, sir. Exactly same.
So this is what we are going to build. So this is the first section. Now we have three more sections. Okay. We are done with two sections. We are done with the menu navigation bar section. We are done with the banner section. And now we have two more sections to be designed. So we are going to design these two more sections in the next class. And then we'll get into coding the designs for HTML and CSS part. Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.